All right, on September 15, 2016, former 45-year-old band teacher Kenyon Rogers pled guilty to the crime of sexually abusing a 13-year-old child.
Hey, it says off air.
Oh, does it? I think it's broadcasting already. I think
Okay,
we should
go.
we just run through it anyways. All right.
Okay, go.
Along with coinciding sentence of 25 years, he will not be eligible for release until 30-year mark. No less than 6 months later, another teacher-student scandal was unveiled. Alexandria Vario was found having inappropriate relations with one of her 13-year-old male students. They found that intercourse was almost a daily affair, and it resulted in pregnancy of Alexandria. She was sentenced to 10 years with eligibility for release in 5 years. It has been said that under the eyes of the law, justice is blind. However, it has become more apparent that it might not be the case. It is imperative that we strive as a society to uphold our pillars of morality and uphold the law in a fair and balanced way. I have looked closely at the incidents involving teacher-student relationships over the past several months and sought out a possible solution how we both curb this problem as well as bring those who choose to participate to justice.
Equal sentencing for males and females has always been a controversial subject, and it's not different in this case for male and female teachers. Statistical analysis reveal a significant difference in sentence length between men and women, but not in the expected direction. The hypothesis one would assume is that women are sentenced more harshly, but data show men receive longer sentences for sex offenses than women. For example, with Kenyon Rogers, the 45-year-old male that pled guilty for continuous sexual abuse of a young child received a 30-year sentence. On the other hand, Erica DePaulo walked out of court with no jail time or community service after having an inappropriate relationship with a male student. Critics have called the punishment too lenient for the female teacher, as well as reflective of a double standard that disproportionately penalizes men for similar relationship with students. Men on average are sent to jail in more cases and receive longer sentences. Why? There's a perception that girls and women are to be protected and are more valuable than their male counterparts, as well as the willingness of the male student as opposed to the female student.
In 2012, Allison Mosbeck was sentenced to deferred adjudication and 10 years probation for having sex with a 14-year-old boy 3 times. After his arrest in 2011, Ernesto Montemayor pleaded guilty to an improper relationship with the student or sexual assault. I'm going to have to erase that. He was sentenced to serve 8 years, while only 44% of women did time after they were found to have conducted inappropriate sexual activities. Current society, men are often looked at as the dominant aggressor, while women are mostly viewed as victims. Therefore, I believe there's a contrasting standard that people see when they hear about teachers' inappropriate involvement with students. When a 34-year-old female is arrested for having a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old male, all you hear is, sorry guys.
No, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
This is why we're running through it.
The general responses are, what's the problem here? This is every boy's teenage fantasy. Where can I see a picture of her? Who is the victim again? Where were these teachers at when I was in high school? When a 34-year-old male arrested for having a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old female student, the responses are, where was the school and police during all this? Why didn't the parents or the teachers, campus staff, or district administrators see what was going on? Hang that pedophile from the highest oak. These are the sexist remarks that are said and taken into consideration during the sentencing process. This is a non-fair practice, and the justice system should not continue to let it happen. Wrong is wrong, and gender of the defendant or the victim should not determine if one gender receives a higher conviction than the other. Gender is not the issue. The same-sex orientation is not the issue. Bad boundaries, harmful behavior, unethical conduct, and illegal sex acts with minors are the issue. Double standard as to how we are perceived and prosecute these cases need to stop. I cannot see her part. I know I'm supposed to read her part, guys. My computer, it just kicked me out.
All right, welcome to it. We as individuals can make difference and collectively make an effort to meaningful change. First, the simplest ways you can make your voice heard is to contact your local representative and let your concerns be known about unfair law practices against male teachers who are accused of having inappropriate relationships with underage students. Female teachers don't seem to have to follow the same laws that are written out against this type of behavior. According to Texas Penal Code 2112, an inappropriate relationship between educator and student is a criminal offense. Any inappropriate relationship between teacher and student in Houston could result in arrest. Under the law, it isn't necessary for students to be enrolled in an educator's class or be under age of 18 for violations to occur. Recently, Governor Abbott signed signed a bill looking to crack down on this epidemic. In an interview about the new laws passed, he said, "Unbelievably, some of these teachers against whom these accusations have been made and actually been proven to have faced no real consequences. So change is happening, and we continue to support the officials such as Governor Abbott. We can all overcome this epidemic and finally reach equality under the law." I guess I'll read the last part. "We've gone through the issues with fair sentencing, teacher-student relationships, and offered a few ways that Houston can better deter these sorts of things from happening. Houston, along with Texas as a whole, has seen a significant rise in teacher-student relationships, and they will continue to occur as long as we continue to do nothing about the situation as a community. There are several organizations that seek to help those who have been victims of teacher-student relationships, and as a community, it is important that we support them in their cause. I've also listed the numbers of our representatives, and it is on us to call in support of legislation that could turn the tide in these kinds of cases." And that's
Cool.
it.